That's it. You're getting Jimmy Dore content as punishment.
Everybody's going, oh, look at Bernie's getting up. Oh, God. When they actually had leverage, he did nothing. And by the way, he's silent on hashtag force to vote. Bernie Sanders, silent on hashtag force to vote, his singular issue. Isn't that crazy? Not actually, when you know what Bernie's actual job is. Bernie's actual job is to push for whatever the fucking Chuck Schumer says is okay to push for, which is why he got $600 in checks. And now, after Trump fucking twisted his arm, now everybody's for $2,000.
DJ Addy, thanks for the 10 gifted subs. Poggers.
It's so trans.
Hey, will you quit busting my balls?
No, I am not.
Maud Dube Messiah says, thanks for the streams, man. You convinced me to start paying dues for the DSA. Did that and donated to the EFF before midnight. Hell yeah, dude. I'm a card carrying member myself, so Pog.
I am not, and someday I will come face to face with Bernie and tell him what's what. Because he's afraid of me. He's afraid to answer a fucking question. That's that. He goes on. He'll rather go on MSNBC than come on a show that's actually going to ask him a question from the left. Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
That's Praxis.
It's unbelievable. He did an interview with the Young Turks. Not one question about fucking the CARES Act. Not one question about it. Not one question about throwing his. Anyway, it's just ridiculous.
Praxis.
See, Jimmy Dore is a coward here. He knows that if he attacked Bernie, he would get a lot less pushback. He's also, a lot of men are very comfortable yelling at women. They're not very comfortable yelling at other men, right? I've noticed a certain type of guy like that. And Bernie Sanders is out there trying to force a vote on 2K checks to help everyone in a pandemic, you fucking asshole. And the reason why he's not coming on your show is because he doesn't give a shit about your shit fucking show. Also, you were supportive of Tulsi Gabbard in the primary. The fuck out of here.
That's Praxis.
He thinks that you are... I mean, everything is about his show. Every time he brings up a politician, it's about flogging his fucking show, man. It's gross. Can you imagine if I talked about politics and mine was, Bernie Sanders doesn't follow me on Twitter. He's a coward. He doesn't even follow a real leftist on Twitter. He's afraid of the questions I would ask. What the fuck are you talking about? He has no idea who you are. I know grifter is a buzzword these days, but I genuinely think Dore is a grifter. I think it's fairer to use it against him than almost anyone else. I hate the term grifter because it's actually become meaningless because people use it so much. But Jimmy just sucks shit, man. He yelled at Katie Halper yesterday and no one said anything. That's the kind of shit that really pisses me off, man. Fucking hell, man. That was gross, dude. Jimmy Dore, like, come on, man. People are desperate for money and relief, and Bernie Sanders is out there trying to get it. And he didn't give up their leverage, motherfucker. That was not Bernie Sanders who gave up their leverage. Grifters when you knowingly lie for money. So grifters are people who basically take money from well-meaning individuals for causes that they purport to believe in but do nothing to support. And there's a lot of different ways of grifting. Sometimes you do it by like say for example, you wanted to run for political office and I said, "Oh, I'll be your campaign manager," and I took a bunch of your money and I gave you a shit campaign. I just grifted from you. You know, that would be a classic example of just like grifting in politics. Or like the Lincoln Project, right? Like the Lincoln Project, after doing a fundraiser for the Georgia runoff races, Lincoln Project pays Stephen Schmidt.
Mike, you shall come on my show.
1.5 million. Oh, I want to show you this. This is fucking gross. This is fucking gross. The Lincoln Project just paid Steven Schmidt, and they're $1.5 million, and they haven't even spent $1.5 million in Georgia. They just paid him. Winter guy, thanks for 300 bits. The Lincoln Project helped McGrath win Kentucky, though. Oh, God. Didn't you hear that McGrath was... Mike, you need to come on my show or you're being canceled. It appears Dore's fan base is going after DSA organizers. I'm a non-binary unemployed socialist organizer, currently uninsured and applying for Medicaid, who spends hours every day trying to ensure nobody gets evicted during a pandemic. Thick skin, but it does hurt a bit to have a wealthy man set an army on me to call me a pussy. I have nothing against working class people who support the forced to vote idea. I welcome them to join our DSA meetings and debate it with us like comrades. But I wish they would turn their anger against the insurance companies and capitalist politicians, not others in their class. Fucking hell, man.
That's Braxis.
What is it with these white guys and their toxic ass communities? Holy shit. I never heard of Jimmy until a few weeks ago, and that was the whole plan, man. Unfortunately, that was the plan.
Dude, if you want to do politics, you got to fucking understand the issues. It's not all just emotions and fantasy life. Or if you want to do emotions and fantasy life, then own it and just do critique, and that's great. But don't call people who actually care about the process and bother to do some fucking research dummies because they look at things a little bit structurally. It's an easy hustle. It's an easy market. It's an easy game.
I think I missed you.
But
thank you, bud.
It's not contributing to anything. It's not going to help us win. And to me, it seems like, if anything, at this point, this is helping Trump. If we have to fight neoliberals, we have to fight Trump, we have to fight establishment Democrats, we have to deal with the corporate hegemony, we have to deal with ideological conformity of a global elite. Do we really need to spend our time on YouTube just giving people dumb emotional releases? Or actually help them think about how they actually get power? And I know that that was spoken like a true fucking corporate sellout. Get the fuck out of here, man. Do some research. Get serious.
I miss you, Michael. You are needed in this time more than ever, honestly. Honestly. We needed somebody like Michael to get through the difficulty of losing with Bernie, you know? And it bums me out because I don't want to attack people on the left. I don't like to punch left. But I'm not going to stand by and let people smash our leaders over bullshit they made up on their, and pulled out of their ass. I hate that shit. I hate that shit. They're out here comparing Jimmy Dore and Malcolm X, and that's cute. My cue to delete this app for a few days to cause y'all not going to get me arrested so early into 2021. A lot of the people who are tone policing Jimmy Dore over forced to vote are the same people who would tone police MLK and Malcolm X for advocating for freedom for black people. Abandon progressive political figures who have failed us time and time again. Dude, you joined in April 2020. Yeah, man, you've been in the struggle for a long ass time, dude. Back off. I'm backing the fuck off. This is CIA shit. Oh, I mean, like, op detected. I know I hate saying that shit, but man, this guy's been in the struggle since April of 2020 after Bernie lost the primary, interestingly enough. Wow. And he's coming in to tell all the progressives to abandon the progressive leaders and do mutual aid. Question: if now is not the time to vote for universal health care, then when would the right time be? The argument that Democrats would vote against it could always be brought up. I think my main argument was that that's not how you build a movement. I like the idea of getting a vote on the record of Medicare for all, recognizing that it doesn't really do anything. It's more of a gut check to see where we are, as far as like who's willing to vote for it and who's not. when it has no chance of passing. But I always said that we should be doing this stuff as part of the coordinated push for the public option. So Joe Biden ran on passing a public option. I feel like the progressives and the Democrats should be saving their healthcare juice for that move. And that should be one of the first things brought up under a Biden administration. So we're focusing, we have 4 days left to the Georgia runoffs, and then we have a new Congress. And depending upon the outcome in Georgia, we will immediately be going into, if we're successful, Joe Biden's legislative agenda. And progressives should be figuring out ways, strategizing to how to get the best possible healthcare push out of that new administration, as opposed to some lame duck session bullshit that means nothing. Right? Am I crazy? Like, obviously the public option is not as good as Medicare for all, but shouldn't we be like getting the vote for Medicare for all in the conversation of the debate for the public option and get the best possible public option, as opposed to like randomly in a lame duck, like all of a sudden because Jimmy Dore just one day decided to hashtag force the vote was something that had to be done because he said so. Isn't the public option going to create a two-tier system that makes people hate public healthcare ever more? I mean, people love public healthcare. The most popular healthcare plan in America is Medicaid. If it was made at bad faith for having a month of content around labor, then immediately disconnected the importance of labor with their forced to vote moment. Pago. Yeah. You're right that we need to gain more support, but then we can act, and then we act, it will be a better chance. I'm just like, why right now? And why is this because Jimmy Dore stomped his feet? Like, why now? Like, what's the actual evidence of any kind of groundswell for what they're talking about? What's your take on joining the IWW? Go ahead. Mike, but Jimmy created AOC because she went on a show when she was running. Yeah, his 20,000 view video made AOC. Jank on forced to vote. That's what Jank says. On forced to vote turns out there's someone in this town hall who needs serious psychological counseling. Can you tell who? These folks are mostly well-intentioned. They have a fine strategy and it is slightly mistimed, but the circular firing squad is nuts. I agree with this 100%. I 100% agree with this. Well-intentioned, mistimed, but the circular firing squad, especially this firing squad pointed at AOC and Bernie Sanders while they're in the middle of trying to get you COVID relief, and you're trying to like wrong foot them with some bullshit you made up on to increase your Twitter interactions. It's like, what the fuck is this? Never means test anything, just gives them. I agree with that. Imagine if Jimmy Dore would instead encourage his viewers to pressure our congresspeople instead of to pass the 2K checks. Yeah, that would be pretty useful, right? But I claim that Jimmy Dore believed that 9/11 was an inside job. So I wanted to play a clip here because I don't want to just say something without receipts.
Boondoggle and why it's so hard to get done and why it's nothing but a distortion. People have no idea. But it's just like, isn't it? It's funny. It's just like 9/11. It's just, I mean, the Iraq War. It's like the people who are the most afraid are the ones who are the most misinformed. Right. And it's just this misinformation. That's why
go talk about the money. That way people, because that's interesting about the way money convinces people to.
Well, oh yeah. Well, okay. Thanks for bringing me back to the point. The point was that the people who need to be investigated these days are not stupid. So what they did was they bought the media companies, and now the people who need to be investigated are the people who are in charge of hiring the investigators. And if I'm not. It's no surprise that Brian Williams doesn't invest, and they don't investigate Congress either, because the people who own them. The corporation owns Congress, and they don't want those guys investigated. They don't want any of that shit done. There's not going to be torture. There's not going to be a real torture investigation. There's not going to be an investigation into 9/11. There never was. There was a handpicked a panel, the 9/11 panel, handpicked by Bush himself. And it's like you can't. that was the only investigation. Am I wrong? Was there?
Yeah, but I want to go.
Was there more investigations of 9/11 by the government that you know about?
I thought. Well, I thought the blue ribbon panel was pretty good. I mean,
when you say the blue ribbon panel, you mean the 9/11 panel?
The 9/11 report was pretty good, and I mean, if you're going to go with the Tower 9, are you a Tower 9 person?
You mean Building 7?
Or is it Building 7? Or
well, there is no explanation for that, and everyone just pretends like you're a maniac. It's that same shit. It's like it's the big lie. Tell the big lie. The exact. No, hey, has a steel structure fallen? Yeah, since from fire, since 9/11? No. Guess what? None ever fell before either. And Building 7 fell, and it wasn't hit by fucking anything.
What was Tower 9?
No, there was no. It was Tower 7. Building 7.
Building 7.
That's the building that no plane hit, but for some reason there was a little fire burning in it, and it collapsed.
That was, you know what that was? My Uncle Morty. Come on.
Now,
we'll blame it on the terrorists. We'll collect the insurance. That's all it was.
And there was that building. I forget what country it was in, but like they were like demolishing it so it would fall straight down like it's supposed to, but it fell on its side and rolled away, kind of.
Yes.
So, in case you're wondering and you're not a fucking expert on 9/11, Building 7 was directly underneath the main two World Trade Center towers. And when they collapsed, they threw thousands of tons of debris onto the structure itself, damaging it extensively. And then there was an uncontrolled fire. And another quirky thing about Building 7 was its truss system. It was built over, I believe it was like an electrical substation. So they had like a truss system in it. And it burned. Now, and then eventually it collapsed. Jimmy Dore just goes around repeating like, oh, there's no explanation for Tower 7 when there is an extensive investigation, an extensive explanation of it. And people evacuated. So, and that's just one of the many examples. Like, he goes into more dumbass conspiracy theory shit like that. But Jimmy Dore is not a smart man, okay? He's not a smart man. I thought Building 7 was blocks away. No, here, I'll show you. Censor. 11 buildings. Okay. I need like a virtual. Okay. Okay. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4. So Tower 1's here. Tower. It's like, I can't remember which tower it is. Hold on. Let's see if I can get another vertical view of 7. Okay. There's Tower 7, chat. Fuck, I can't. I gotta get a vertical fucking thing. I wasn't prepared to do a whole Tower 7 shit vertical view. Come on, can you get a vertical view of the tower of the complex? Give me a vertical view of the fuck. Alternate Center. Is someone linking it to me? Okay, thank you. Okay, so here's Tower 7. It collapsed. All of these buildings. Let me show it. World Trade Center after collapse. Oh my god, I'm typoing. Bird's eye view. Oh god. Okay. Okay. Are you ready? Are you ready? Everything was totally demolished. These towers completely collapsed. You see the damage that was done? Yeah. 9/11 controlled demolition, fact or fiction? Does it look like these buildings were not damaged by the collapse? So, they're dumb as fuck. We could go over it if you really, 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 really want me to, but I don't feel like it right now.